one, People's Champ, undisputed champion, so shut up, bitch! Oh my God!
Nearly 60,000 people packed the Colonial Stadium in Melbourne, with the company producing a WrestleMania-caliber event in its return to Australia to draw one of the biggest gates in its history, resulting in the tour, which in addition to the massive stadium show also drawing strong crowds for the Fan Frenzy events on the way to Saturday's pay-per-view, alone offsetting any potential business drop for the company for the current quarter, while heating up domestically with boosted attendance on the way to the SummerSlam pay-per-view expected to draw one of the biggest numbers of the year in 2 weeks, with Raw 48 hours after Brock Lesnar and Hunter headlined in Australia in a three-way title match, kicking off with a major angle of Lesnar and Heyman buying tickets to sit front row on Raw, with Triple H a week after officially setting up Shawn Michaels' return match after 4 years, starting the build-up to their first major feud with both as main event players for the first time, telling Michaels that for the past 8 years he headlined more pay-per-views and sold out more arenas than Michaels ever did at the peak of his run, saying that him and Michaels were never friends and just used each other to get to the top in Hunter's case or stay there for Michaels. Further clarifying his heel turn, saying that for the past 8 months he turned soft while pandering to the crowd to end his babyface run, started with his comeback at the Garden on January 7, bringing out Rock to a massive ovation from the Seattle crowd in the first Raw in the market in 6 years, ignoring Hunter to go after Lesnar in his first response to the Hogan beatdown last Thursday, before turning his attention to Hunter in the ring to lead to a memorable promo exchange to a huge reaction, as Raw starting hot with a major star power segment in front of the sold-out crowd resembling some of the opening segment's atmosphere during the peak period, getting a strong viewership bump to open Raw's first quarter with a 3.4 rating and over 4.6 million viewers, and an over 500,000 viewers increase over the past 2 weeks, ending up in a Rock Hunter brawl with Lesnar jumping to the ring to distract Rock before leaving the building to continue to build to the first Rock-Brock confrontation. The follow-up of the opening segment saw Raw picking up another 600,000 viewers, with Rock after hearing that Lesnar already left the building demanding Bischoff to book him against Triple H for tonight, building the hype for the eventual singles match to set them up facing each other in an 8-man tag for the main event, and with the show tonight being the first of 2 back-to-back TV tapings, with SmackDown the next night taking place in the same building for the first time since the 2 Madison Square Garden shows in early January, in a strategy the WWF started to implement due to the unprecedented ticket demand during the height of the boom period, with 2 Raw and SmackDown tapings taking place in the same America West Arena in Phoenix to rapidly sell out both nights in September 2000. The curiosity in the company outside of testing the Seattle market was if the product can still sustain over 25,000 tickets sold in a span of 24 hours, with numbers noticeably softer in the past 3 months. Getting positive news with a combined sellout attendance of over 20,000 people for the TV shows during the week, with Raw next setting the stage for another major return, with Kane's video appearing on screen during Finkel's heel promo to pop the building big, with Kane about to return full-time after 5 months of recovery from arm injury, coming back to the Raw brand he was originally targeted after the brand split, with him teaming with Rock and Hogan against the NWO as one of the top headliners, along with revealing the documents angle from last Thursday's SmackDown as Eric setting up Van Dam getting an IC title rematch against Chris Benoit for SummerSlam, followed by Booker vs Storm going 4 minutes in the same quarter to bump Raw into the 4 rating range. After climbing throughout the hour from the bigger-than-usual opening segment, Raw peaked in the final quarter between 9:45 to 10 p.m. with Eric Bischoff coming out unannounced for a segment with Mini Goldust with him left in the ring from the previous match, giving him a chance to entertain to set up another unique Rosie and Jamal beatdown after already taking out Mae Young, Moolah and Lillian since making their debut. Seeing the quarter, which also featured the jump of Stacy Keibler from SmackDown to Raw after the angle of her turning on Stephanie to give Eric the documents, drawing a 4.2 rating in a first hour totaling over 5 million viewers, making it outside of the big spike for the July 22nd show the most watched first hour of Raw in almost 2 months, crossing over 10 p.m. with a Flair and Bubba against Jericho and Big Show tag match going 8 minutes. Continuing the steady growth over the first 60 minutes to see the show peaking for the tag match at the top of the hour quarter with a 4.3 rating and over 5.8 million viewers, ending up with Jericho, who was one of the few Raw performers on the Australia tour to fly back and work the TV taping less than 48 hours later, tapping out Bubba for the finish in a match featuring the first clash of Flair and Jericho in the current feud, with Flair one-upping Jericho for the second week. Raw saw another match being made official for SummerSlam, with Jericho challenging Flair to their first singles match on the pay-per-view, followed by the company airing a highlight video package on Shawn Michaels' career as a way to reintroduce him to a lot of the new fan base for the company not watching during the majority of his run with the WWF audience created during the boom period of the past 4 years, with Michaels in an interview with Ted DiBiase during the week commenting publicly for the first time on his now official return to the ring after several years of saying that he probably wrestled his last match, saying that it was on the day Nash was injured on the July 8th Raw that he started seriously thinking about making the return in an official match, with his SummerSlam role originally scheduled to be standing in Nash's corner against Hunter, noting that after a week he suggested it to Vince with 2 ideas for his return match being Michaels against either McMahon or Hunter, with Vince eventually deciding to book the Michaels vs Hunter match, building it up as a fight perhaps as a way to lower expectations and give Michaels an out in his first match back in 4 years, with him previously mentioning not wanting to return unless he can deliver at close to the level he did at the peak of his career, with Raw after the quarter-hour peak at 10 p.m. mostly sliding throughout the next 45 minutes while seeing another high-profile match set for SummerSlam, with Van Dam going over Jeff Hardy to set up an inter-promotional Van Dam vs Benoit match for the IC title, with the winner bringing the belt to his brand, ending in a major turn with Matt turning heel on Jeff to start his singles run, with the second hour despite the drop in the middle from a 4.3 to 3.8 rating increasing to over 5.3 million viewers overall on the back of the 2 top matches at the top of the hour and the overrun, with Eric Bischoff after seeing a SmackDown commercial during Raw's TNN broadcast hyping up a Lesnar vs Rikishi main event for this Thursday, going into the production truck to confront Dunn on letting the commercial air on his show to see him topping it to book Rock vs Triple H as the Raw main event for the SummerSlam go-home show next Monday, targeting strong numbers with potentially one of the biggest draws of the year heading into the pay-per-view. The entrances for the 8-man tag main event took place from 10:53 p.m. to see the match kicking off 4 minutes from the top of the hour, seeing the big star power Rock Taker Booker and Goldust vs Hunter Test Christian and Storm main event going 12 minutes in front of the hot crowd to gain big throughout the 9-minute overrun, jumping over a million viewers to peak at a 4.5 rating with over 6.1 million viewers, following the same pattern of the opening segment with a significant increase of over 700,000 viewers on the Hunter Michaels main event segment of last Monday. And if Raw on the night was a test for the market before the decision in the next month, the Seattle crowd not only delivered in ticket sales, with Raw selling out well in advance and SmackDown tomorrow a few tickets away from another full building, but also with one of the hottest atmospheres of the year for a TV broadcast for the company to see it all, but guaranteeing the Safeco Field Stadium in the city hosting WrestleMania 19 in March 2003, as the crowd continued to heat up all the way to the final sequence of the main event, with Rock laying out Test before brawling with Hunter outside the ring to build to next week's major Raw headliner in their first match in over a year, setting up the surprise finish with Test pinning Taker to build him up for their SummerSlam singles match, with Raw drawing its highest rated and most watched broadcast in 3 weeks to continue the company's recent momentum heading into the final build-up to SummerSlam next Monday. Minutes after Raw went off the air at 11:09 p.m. with almost all the participants of the 8-man tag match already backstage, Undertaker called Booker back to do the post-show Spinaroonie to pop the Seattle crowd on the way out of the building, to unintentionally start what ended up as memorable as anything they watched for the past 2 hours, as what initially seemed like a normal post-show routine to send off the crowd turned into one of the most talked about off-air segments in Raw history, with Vince McMahon sending the signal to the referee in the ring to start a massive rib on Undertaker for the next 30 minutes, starting with Booker asking Taker to do his version of a Takeroonie, to see him telling McMahon that he knows he's behind it and coming for him when he gets to the back, followed by Rock, Hunter and eventually Vince himself, all coming out with each doing their own versions to try to get Taker to do it, popping the crowd big throughout, with the buzz about the segment starting in the same night over the next several hours, with reports from the crowd all detailing what was going on when Raw went off the air, building up the story over the next 12 years before the company eventually released the footage that ended up matching expectations as an all-time Raw moment.